Linus Tech Tips coverage of CES 2015 is brought to you by Phantom Glass. Visit store.phantom.glass for the best darn screen protectors out there, as well as HyperX. So this is it. We've got Broadwell all over the freaking place all of a sudden. So Intel is trumpeting a variety of things about this. So of course we've got slightly better performance per clock, but the big story has got to be power consumption. So thanks to its extremely low power consumption and heat output, Broadwell is enabling a whole new class of devices for these guys. So check this out. This is actually a fully functional Broadwell. So this chip on here, so right here, this package has a CPU and GPU right here, and then it's actually got a chipset right here. That CPU goes anywhere from 1.1 to 2.6 gigahertz. It's a dual core, and the GPU, even more impressively, Intel's got some 3D Mark Ice Storm stuff going on over here. They're saying actually outperforms the recently announced Tegra X1, where they're taking what they're calling, it's actually kind of funny. So for the first time, they're taking a leadership position in 3D graphics in really any kind of space. I mean, who saw this one coming? I mean, probably the people paying very close attention to how much of the die size of recent Intel CPUs is dedicated to graphics, but other than that, you didn't stand much of a chance. Also on this board is 4 gigs of RAM. On the back, you've got an interface that allows an SSD up to 512 gigs, and Intel cheated a little bit here with me, so they told me, oh, well, Linus, it only weighs, here, we can wait for our scale to go, come on over here, it only weighs 12 grams, but of course, they didn't put the copper heatsink on it that obviously it's going to need, so let's go ahead and 12 grams. That's a massive 14 grams, you liars. So it's still the lightest PC that I've ever encountered. We're going to see this in a variety of different devices, so this one's a pretty incredible little number. Just to make my point about how light it is, here, I'm going to hold it by as tiny a corner as I possibly can. That is how light this little Panasonic device is. I don't even know what this is. This is the CFRZ4. It is a full-fledged computer. Yes, full I/O. You've got your USB 3 super speed, all that nonsense, 3 of those, gigabit Ethernet. This is not a cut-down device in any way, and it is running a board like that inside. We've got the other one here. So this is the demo machine that they're using in order to make their point about how fast graphics are. So you saw me just pull it off of the base. The computer itself is not in the base of this device at all. It is actually all up here. Same thing, 1.1 turboing all the way up to 2.6 gigahertz. This is some tomfoolery magic that they're doing because the power consumption of these chips is going to be anywhere from 4.5 to 6 watts, and then at the very high end, 15 watts. But thanks to their 14 nanometer manufacturing process and some little tricks with being able to push like massive amounts of current through it for microseconds at a time, enabling exactly the performance you need when you need it, you're able to achieve, well, the kinds of things that we're looking at right here, and still have a device that doesn't get so hot you have to drop it. I was hoping to get more of a reaction from you guys. I should have gone for a longer drop before I caught it. Usually I get people to freak out. They've got another cool one here. So this is actually Moorfield. This is not, unfortunately, Broadwell, so it's not exactly something that launched just now, but the device itself launched today. This is the Venue 8 from Dell. This has a 2 gigahertz quad core in it. It's an Android-based tablet, and this is a pretty sick-looking little device. It's got an 8.4-inch 2560 by 1600 OLED screen. It's got 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of storage on the model that I'm holding today, and what's kind of cool about it is, I don't know if you guys can see what's going on with this picture right here, where it's like, the background and foreground are shifting separately. Anyway, it's got a 3D camera on the back, which is a pretty neat little feature to have. This is 6 millimeters thick, and as far as Android tablets go, it takes a fair bit to impress me, but I'm impressed by how thin it is, I'm impressed by how gorgeous it is, and I'm impressed that Intel managed to get a design win in a tablet this small and this thin, because they've been kind of beating this drum for a while, and we haven't seen much success, but here it is, guys. That is an absolutely beautiful little device. To drive home the point, because I mean, oh yeah, here's Edison. I've actually never touched one. So the lightest computer in the world, Bluetooth, wireless, CPU, all that kind of stuff on there. That's pretty freaking cool. So I've criticized Intel in the past, particularly on our podcast, saying, it feels like they've abandoned, the enthusiast a little bit. They're not really giving us dual processor systems anymore and all that crazy stuff. I actually happen to be standing in the same room as one one of the founders of the whole Skulltrail concept over at Intel, which is one of the things I love to harken back to. The last time they cared about us, they gave us dual processors on a single motherboard. They let us overclock the snot out of it. Those were the good old days. But I don't know. I guess another perspective on all of that. I'm still going to keep ragging on them until I see, dual processors and on overclockable motherboards. But I guess another perspective on that, a point that Intel's trying to make, and I kind of messed up the demo here, but this is a demo that they actually showed off on Skulltrail back when they launched it in 2008. They had like minus 40-degree liquid cooling on the bloody thing in order to get this to even run. Hopefully, there we go. There's the pictures of the machine. So we've got like a touch interface thing going on here. This is the rig they had running. Dual processors, quad GPUs. Let's go ahead and, okay, we'll zoom in more. I haven't actually used this before, so I'm trying this for the first time. Anyway, there we go. That's what they were running. That was the board it was running. And they ran this demo and blew people away with it. So what was that, 350,000 photos or something like that?
Yeah, about 300 billion of pixels.
Okay, about 300 billion pixels, and being able to interact with it like this in real time was like this amazing thing. Holy crap, look at what we built. And then they kind of lift up the curtain here and show that they now have that demo from 2008 running on their new Broadwell NUC. Right there. Yes, it's getting a little bit toasty. No, it doesn't seem particularly happy about running the demo, but it is actually doing it. So there you go. I guess that's Moore's Law at work. Are they ignoring enthusiasts? You could look at it that way, or are they just making enthusiast hardware very different than it used to look in the past? Well, that's what I'll say with all the Intel people watching me here in the suite. Either way, it's a very cool demo, and it's amazing to see how far we've come in 6 years. I mean, think about that. Oh, I missed one. Bring, please. So this is another little cool, this is another Broadwell device. So this is from ASUS. Same thing, totally detachable tablet, totally thin, absolutely unbelievable. This one doesn't have the 2.6 gigahertz turbo skew in it. Did you end up looking up the CPU speed?
It's about 2.6.
Is it about 2.6? All right, well, there you go. I lied. I misled you guys. I'm very sorry. I apologize. It's only barely thick enough. You can see there's just enough room for the panel, the touch interface, and then a 3.5 millimeter jack. That is it. That is all the space there is on this tablet slash convertible slash 2-in-1 slash whatever marketing name there is for it these days. So pretty amazing stuff going on here, and I'm looking forward to more reviews of. Guys, let me know what devices you want to see us check out, and we will try to do that over the next little while. Also, don't miss any of our CES coverage. Make sure you guys are subscribed, and I want to spend a moment to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Phantom Glass. Visit store.phantom.glass for the best darn screen protectors out there. You won't be able to see that there's a screen protector on my phone, but it's because it's made of Gorilla Glass. It is fingerprint resistant. It is scratch resistant. It has absolutely no bubbles under it. I don't think you could put bubbles under a Phantom Glass screen protector if you tried, so you can find a link to that in the video description below, and also a shout out to HyperX. I hope they don't watch this one. It's HyperX, not Kingston HyperX. So check out the HyperX YouTube channel over at youtube.com/HyperX. They've got a lot of great gaming content. We'll have that linked in the video description as well.